You don't notice the rot until the floor gives way. It starts subtly, a numbness in your morning coffee ritual, a hollow laugh at dinner parties, a vague sense of drifting through life like a ghost in your own story. But this is how the trap springs, slowly. While you're busy numbing, optimizing, and healing, your pain doesn't vanish. It mutates, and its offspring are far more dangerous. Here's the silent apocalypse of the pain avoidance era. A world that flees suffering doesn't find peace. It breeds monsters. The personal plague. Your body becomes a battleground for wars you refuse to fight. Chronic fatigue, not from overwork, but from the energy spent repressing grief, rage, or longing. Addiction. The dopamine chase isn't about pleasure. It's a frantic effort to outrun the void where pain once lived. Creative sterility. Art dies when artists prioritize self-care over truth-telling. Studies reveal that suppressed pain physically alters the brain. The anterior cingulate cortex, the region governing empathy, shrinks. The amygdala, fear, central, hypertrophies. You become a stranger to yourself, all defense mechanisms and no depth. Jung called this the shadow's revenge, the exiled parts of your psyche morphing into saboteurs. The relationship Chernobyl watch. What happens when two pain-numbed souls collide? Love becomes transactional. What can you do for me? Replaces, who are you beneath the armor? Conflict becomes existential. A disagreement about chores spirals into, you never loved me. Sex becomes performance. Bodies move, but souls stay locked in separate cells. Huxley's Brave New World warned of intimacy reduced to casual feelies and empty orgies. We've outdone his dystopia. Dating apps gamify connection. Couples therapy pathologizes passion. And attachment styles become excuses to avoid vulnerability. The societal spirals zoom out. A culture allergic to pain becomes a culture incapable of justice. Protests turn into hashtags. Rage into retweets. Solidarity into slacktivism. Innovation. Safe ideas dominate. Disruptors are medicated or cancelled. Empathy. Algorithms feed us caricatures of others to hate, not humans to understand. Schopenhauer saw this coming. Compassion is the basis of morality. But compassion requires feeling, and feeling hurts. So we outsource morality to influencers and politicians, trading ethics for ease. The environmental mirror. Even the planet reflects our pathology. Climate denial. Not ignorance, but a refusal to confront the pain of ecological grief. Consumerism. A distraction from the void where purpose once grew. Extinction. We doom species the way we doom parts of ourselves, by refusing to see their worth. Indigenous cultures like the Quechua speak of Ayni, sacred reciprocity with earth. Modernity practices extraction, from land, from others, from our own souls. The result? A world burning outside because we've numbed the fire within. The generational inheritance. Your children don't inherit your pain. They inherit your relationship with it. A daughter learns to pathologize sadness as toxic. A son mistakes stoicism for strength, silence for power. A generation raised on SSRIs and TikTok dances can't name their hunger, only numb it. The Maori passed down Wakapapa, genealogies interwoven with ancestral struggles. We pass down trauma wrapped in Instagram filters. The consequence? A lineage of ghosts, fluent in avoidance, illiterate in meaning. The spiritual bankruptcy. Organized religion's decline left a vacuum. Wellness cults sell enlightenment via $1,000 retreats and moon water. Tech utopians preach salvation through AI, crypto, and eternal life algorithms. Extremism fill the soul's void with dogma because even hate feels more alive than numbness. This isn't evolution. It's desperation, a black market for meaning in a world that sold its soul to avoid pain. The cognitive contagion. Your mind becomes a puppet of unprocessed agony. Confirmation bias. You seek evidence that life is meaningless to justify your numbness. Negativity. Dominance. Painful memories hijack 80% of your mental real estate. Evolution's cruel joke. Moral licensing. I meditated today so I can exploit tomorrow. Frankl's existential vacuum isn't passive. It actively distorts reality. You don't see the world as it is, but as a funhouse mirror of your unlived life. The art of annihilation. History's greatest tragedies weren't born from pain, but from the refusal to face it. The Holocaust thrived on a society numbed by nationalism and bureaucracy. The climate crisis accelerates because facing it would shatter our consumerist delusions. The mental health epidemic persists because we treat symptoms, not the soul sickness beneath. Nietzsche warned, whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster. But we've birthed something worse. A world where monsters are obsolete because we've become the void. The crack in the dam. But here's the secret your pain has been howling. The numbness is breaking. Gen Z's anti-hustle revolt. The resurgence of psychedelics as tools for facing, not fleeing. Global strikes demanding life over survival. These aren't trends. They're mutinies. Proof that the human spirit can only play dead for so long. The trap is set. The hour is late. But in the next section, you'll discover something revolutionary. Your pain isn't the enemy. It's the only ally real enough to guide you home.